The 2025 Scotties Tournament of Hearts from Fort William Gardens has now come and gone. Good evening and thank you for joining us. Last night, the home rink won its second straight Canadian championship following 10 days of exciting curling and fun at Fort William Gardens. Jonathan Wilson has been following the Scotties for us and joins us now in studio.
Thanks very much, Haley. Yeah, kind of sad to see it come to an end. The big event is being called a huge success by fans, organizers, and the curlers themselves. Thunder Bay made the most of its third chance at hosting the Scotties after the 2022 event faced spectator restrictions due to the pandemic. Team Canada, led by Rachel Homan, went undefeated for the second Scotties in a row. The sellout crowd and the 400 volunteers at the Gardens all showed their appreciation for the team that will now represent Canada at the World Championships in South Korea next month. The Tournament of Hearts definitely won the hearts of local and visiting curling fans, as attendance totaled over 54,000 over the 10 days, and local organizers couldn't be happier.
Curling Canada knew this was going to work here, and we really got slammed twice with COVID, right? So it's been a 5-year project, so we're really thrilled with finally see this great crowd here tonight and the outcome. We had great support from the community for the last 10 days, so we're really proud of what we pulled off.
It was an incredible event. Shout out to all of our volunteers, everybody, our fans that showed up. This place was rocking as we hoped it would be, and it was just a fantastic event for the city of Thunder Bay.
It was amazingly run. From start to finish, the fans were phenomenal. They really had a great knowledge of curling. They were cheering everyone. It didn't matter who was out there. It was exciting for everyone to play here, and we felt really at home out here.
Yeah, it's been great. It was really nice to have a sold-out crowd for a final, and so much energy in here. And it's really nice. Just you feel all of that energy when you're out there, and it's been awesome. It's been a great experience.
The one downside was that the hometown McCarville rink failed to make the playoffs, but another curler born and raised in Thunder Bay did very well. Carly Everest, a member of Team Nova Scotia, won the bronze medal in her third time at the Scotties.
To be able to reach the podium means so much. I played here during the COVID Scotties. We also made playoffs that year as well. But it was our first Scotties, so it was a learning experience. So for this time to come back to a real Scotties, to be here, to take it all in, the crowd, I felt so at home because this is my home, and it meant everything. I had the best time.
A great time was also had by fans at the Patch, as the Fort William Curling Club was turned into the biggest bar in Thunder Bay for the Scotties.
We had all local bands here this week for 9 nights, and I heard nothing but fantastic reports on the entertainment that was provided in the Patch, and locals came out to support them, and it was really a fun place to be for sure.
Organizers say the Scotties was also a great way to promote Thunder Bay to the rest of Canada and introduce local kids to curling to help grow the sport here. Busloads of school children were invited to the morning draws. Meanwhile, the older curling fans spent money at local restaurants, hotels, and supported the Scotties 50-50 draws.
Yeah, the 50-50 sold fantastic. There's going to be money for our local clubs for grassroots curling. So it's a win-win-win all around. I know Tourism Thunder Bay is thrilled with the exposure that Thunder Bay had this throughout this entire event.
Just on TSN and the great job that they did profiling our community to a national audience. I know I watched some at home, and it was just great to see Thunder Bay look so good. So I hope it's a boost for the community as well.
Emery and Lang say fans and volunteers are already asking what's the next big event to try to attract to Thunder Bay. Jonathan Wilson, TBT News.
A long-awaited inquest began today into the 2012 death of Sherman Quissis. The 34-year-old died following an altercation at the Thunder Bay Correctional Center just a few days before he was to be released. Quissis, a member of Niskantaga First Nation, was stabbed in the neck by another inmate and was pronounced dead in hospital. The other inmate, Adam Capay, was charged with first-degree murder. However, he was released in 2019 with the charge against him stayed due to the length of time he was forced to spend in solitary confinement while awaiting trial. Today's proceedings saw Quissis's family testify on how the death affected them and their community. One of the correctional officers also testified about the day it happened, and surveillance video of the incident was shown. The inquest is expected to last for 15 days. Today's warm weather and fast melt had some unanticipated consequences as water started pouring into County Fair Plaza this afternoon. The facility partially flooded and led to the closure of the County Park Library branch. The leak was noticed at around 2 o'clock this afternoon, and water could be seen pouring into the Elections Ontario returning office located at the mall. Public Library spokesperson Riley Roy says the catchment basin in the plaza's parking lot was frozen, which caused the water draining from the roof to get backed up. She notes that as of this evening, crews have been able to stop the flow of water.
Our job now is to clean it up and dry things up and then assess to see if there's further damage that needs to be remediated. I'm really happy to say that our staff were right on top of things. As soon as they realized that there was water coming in, they moved all the books from the lower shelves to make sure that nothing was affected. The upper shelves are well out of the water, so there has been no damage to the book collection. The books are safe.
The County Park branch will open up again on Wednesday. We're now into the home stretch of the Ontario election. All four major parties have now released their platforms after Progressive Conservative leader Doug Ford became the last to do so today in Toronto. CTV's Siobhan Morris has the latest from the campaign trail with just 3 days left.
The Progressive Conservatives' newly unveiled platform packs $40 billion in new spending.
Our plan to protect Ontario will build our economy, diversify our trade, and make our province the most competitive place in the G7 to invest.
There are new to the campaign trail promises for a $5 billion fund to respond to tariffs, $705 million to grow STEM and skilled trades training, and a callback to Buck-a-Beer, a vow to eliminate the minimum price of alcohol, designed to keep people from over-consuming.
That's the biggest joke I've ever heard. They don't do it in Alberta. They don't do it in Quebec. So why do we have to have a base?
The platform math incomplete, with no price tag for big promises like a Highway 401 tunnel and a concession from Doug Ford.
You know, if the tariffs hit us, yes, we won't be able to balance.
In Ottawa, asked if she'd stay on as Liberal leader if she doesn't win her seat.
I'm not conceding anything. We're here to win, and I'm feeling really good about this race.
Bonnie Crombie took aim at an off-the-cuff remark Ford made Sunday about ER wait times.
You got a little scrape on your knee or whatever, they should be at a clinic down the street.
I don't know what choice people have. You have deliberately underfunded our healthcare system.
Thank you so much. It's something the NDP leader also picked up on at a stop in Windsor, quipping that Ford should go to medical school if he wants to give medical advice.
Because that is an extremely irresponsible thing to tell the people of Ontario, especially at a time when so many people do not have a family doctor.
Campaigning in Parry Sound, Muskoka, the Green leader calls Ford's preoccupation with the 401 tunnel in Ontario Place unfair.
When right here in Bracebridge, people are looking at roads and bridges that the municipality is struggling to keep open. So many people without access to a family doctor.
That was CTV's Siobhan Morris reporting. Officials with Nawsum University are hopeful the next provincial government will work to help them address the doctor shortage in the north. The first place they hope to see work done is updating old funding agreements, some of which are over 15 years old. Justin Hardy has the story.
Do you know that there are 28,000 people here in the Thunder Bay area that don't have access to a family doctor?
All four major provincial party leaders have promised that every Ontarian will have a family doctor or a primary care team within 4 years, should their party be chosen to lead the next government. Nawsum University was created to help address the doctor shortage in Northern Ontario. Nawsum U president Dr. Michael Green says the school could really use the help, and he hopes they can rely on the support of whichever party forms the next government.
Like all of the schools in Ontario, we're still waiting for some updates to our funding agreements to deal with the inflation that's happened in the cost of training medical students and residents. Many of these were fixed a long time ago, some as long ago as 2009.
Green says that due to inflation, the cost of providing medical training is becoming harder and harder, both for medical students and new doctors seeking residency in Toronto and other major cities where specialization is possible. Green says Nawsum also needs more capacity built into it to allow the university to continue training people in communities here in the north.
And in particular in family medicine, this means primary care teaching clinic spaces, which we haven't historically had in Northern Ontario, which would be multidisciplinary clinics where people get their care. They go to see a family doctor, but also members of a team, but also that have our students and residents and other kinds of learners there as well, maybe nursing students or nurse practitioner students.
Currently, Nawsum University's undergraduate medical education program offers 88 seats for new students each year. The university is planning to expand that to 108 in the near future. Justin Hardy, TBT News.
Residents along First Avenue and Ontario Street were dealing with a suspected water main break earlier yesterday morning, which caused significant flooding in the area. A resident took these photos just before sunrise, showing the street, sidewalk, and yards covered in water. City crews responded and quickly managed to get the flooding under control. The water main break was located a short distance away on Fort William Road. Sewer and Water Superintendent David Warwick says they were busy today repairing the leak, but the cause is still unknown. The city has been trying for years to prevent temporary flooding in that area, such as dredging the nearby ditches. But First Avenue residents, Dean Hoff, says a permanent solution needs to be found.
They were here within 15 minutes and they had the sewers opened up and they got the water greatly reduced, but the damage was done by then. And I usually have to call the last 5 years and say, hey, this is about to flood. And their reaction time is good. They come over with a big machine, they dredge it out, they make a great big pile of ice in the Moose parking lot over there, and it prevents our flooding. But this year, nobody's watching, and it got away from them, and it's costing us.
Residents in the area may experience discolored water during the water main repairs and are being advised to run a cold water tap close to the water meter for 10 to 15 minutes or until the water turns clear. If it persists, they should contact the city. Lakehead University is celebrating its 20th annual Research and Innovation Week. Starting today and continuing until Friday, this milestone week will showcase why Lakehead is one of the top research universities in Canada. The keynote speaker today was Jill Heinerth. She's a cave diver and explorer in residence with the Royal Canadian Geographical Society and spoke about her research. LU's Vice President of Research and Innovation, Andrew Dean, has been putting together the event for over the past decade now. He spoke about how it's grown and how eager those in the science community are to sign up for the various events and activities.
What I'm really seeing is that people really want to participate. So when we start the planning in the fall and we put our first calls, I'm just amazed at how many of the researchers say, put their hand up and say, I want to do something. I want to do my own thing. I want to participate at the mall. I want to give a talk. I want to do a workshop. So it's an opportunity for the researchers to really show what they're doing, but I'm also really amazed at just how proud they are to do that.
Collaboration is really at the heart of research and innovation today, and here there's an opportunity to get to know people in different disciplines and magnify each other's work going forward. Reach out to people that you admire, people that are doing work that you want to do, and ask for the gig.
A full list of events for Research and Innovation Week can be found on the LU website. Anishinaabe Nation's annual 3-day youth gathering wrapped up in Thunder Bay yesterday. It provided around 100 young people from across Nan Territory with the chance to engage in workshops, storytelling, and other initiatives. Emma Chilton has the details.
The annual Anishinaabe Nation Youth Conference was held at the Best Western Nor'Wester this weekend and brings 2 youth from all 49 Nan communities to participate. The gathering lasts 3 days and has workshops, cultural learning activities, and keynote speakers. Oshkarisak Youth Council member Summer Wabas says it's a great opportunity for youth to learn the skills that will help them in life.
This conference is such an amazing opportunity for Nan youth to come to the city and get to meet people from other communities and get a bit outside of their comfort zone.
The workshops are designed to set youth up for a successful future. Some of them were financial literacy, empowerment, Indigenous astronomy, land-based learning, importance of grassroots and community work, and language. Nan Youth Cultural Camps coordinator Tyler Faubert, who ran the land-based learning workshops, says it's important to connect the youth back to their outdoor teachings.
It's so important to build, develop, and foster a connection in our young people to that land. There's so much. You learn so much when you're out there, not only about the land, but about yourself. And there's so much healing to be had out there. Survival situations. When you're out on the land, we always hear stories, of people who go out in the wintertime and then they don't come back that night. So then we got to go find them. Everybody gets together and, it's for those moments that we try to prepare people so that we have a positive outcome to that story.
This year's gathering theme was telling your stories. Many of the youth and youth council members were given the opportunity to share their stories, teachings, and culture. Waba says it's not necessary to go to youth conferences to get involved with your community and be a leader, but youth are always encouraged to participate and help lead their fellow youth.
I think that it's a really empowering conference. It's really great that NAN brings in so many different role models for people to look up to, and it provides a really safe space for youth to take those healthy risks and be empowered.
Emma Chilton, TBT News.
Well, the weather warm-up that we felt today was certainly noteworthy as it comes with nice things, but also some challenges.
Yeah, there were definitely some challenges, as we already heard. You know, flooding in the county fair area, and especially with the library there. I don't know about your basement. I'm kind of nervous about my own. But we did have mild temperatures pretty much across the region. Here in the city of Thunder Bay, we had, all right, we're looking like we've got an incorrect graphic here, so we'll have to get that fixed. But we did warm up to above the freezing mark, a high of 6 Celsius during the day today. If we take a look what's going on across the region, temperatures on the plus side for many areas. In fact, Fort Frances was seeing highs of 6 Celsius yesterday, slightly cooler today, but not a whole lot. Under cloudy skies, they're currently sitting at 3, and they've stayed above the freezing mark for more than 24 hours. Up into Red Lake, the temperatures are starting to slip back a little bit. So they are below freezing at -3, wind chills of -7. They had rain earlier today when it was on the plus side. Obviously, with things starting to cool down, they're seeing some light snow this afternoon and at this hour. Heading eastward, hovering around the freezing mark in Armstrong and Greenstone, a lot of cloud, and they've been sitting pretty close to the freezing mark most of the day. So when they have been seeing precipitation, it's been waffling between rain and snow. Down along the eastern shores of Lake Superior on the plus side as well, 1 in Wawa, 2 in Sault Ste. Marie, and they've been mostly dry since about 11 a.m. this morning, currently under mostly cloudy skies. Here in the city of Thunder Bay, we are currently seeing the potential for more rain as we head into the evening because we are so mild at 6 Celsius at this time. So we're going to start off with a 40% chance of showers as the temperature drops finally below the freezing mark to -8. That could change to a 40% chance of flurries, but all in all, it's just a risk, and winds are going to be light from the north at about 10 kilometers per hour. Now, as we head into the rest of the week, daytime highs are going to continue to be very mild. However, the overnight lows are going to remain cool, and that's definitely going to be below the freezing mark. Here's where things get a little bit dicey with that. Not only do you have the potential for the flooding that we have been seeing, but that also means anything that melted during the day at night is going to freeze, and that's going to make for some very icy mornings. So I have to implore people to please be careful as you head outside, because this week could be very precarious for anybody traveling on foot.
Absolutely. It sounds kind of messy regardless of what time of day. Yeah. Thank you, Fiona. We'll move to national news now, where today marks the 3rd anniversary of Russia's illegal invasion in Ukraine. But Prime Minister Justin Trudeau joined many leaders across Europe in Kyiv to have some discussions on that. We'll have details after the break.
It's not just about Ukraine. It's about the rules and the values and the principles of sovereignty, of independence, of territorial integrity